Everyone, my name is Nikita, I'm junior designer here at BYG, and today we're presenting the 0.8 update, Caches with Ashes, or Caches to Ashes. And with me today is Jared.
Hello, hi, I'm Jared. I'm the community intern at BYG, and we're very excited to see everyone today. I think there's going to be some fun stuff that will look very impressive, or well, we think it looks pretty impressive. Hopefully you do as well.
Yeah, it's a very exciting update. One of the features that we're adding at this update is the ultra heavy beam weapon. The one from the trailer that everyone's been so excited about for so long. It's finally in the game. And we're also somewhat continuing the same campaign that we were going on last time, where Whiskey died, so rest in peace, Whiskey. And I started a new campaign, and this time we have Whiskey Jr. out for vengeance, which would be in combination with the ultra heavy beam weapon and the dynamic atmosphere system that we added this update as well, will be an excellent way to showcase all of that stuff.
Apps in chat for Whiskey, everyone.
Yep. Rip Whiskey.
Press F to pay respects. We should have that button in the game, right, Nikita? Every time
Yes.
one of your pilots is killed in action, you have an option to press F to pay respects.
Indeed. So we have a couple of options of what we can try. We're currently in a province that one level above us, so I think we'll try attacking the base first, just to showcase the new weapon, and then the dynamic atmosphere system. And we should also get some loot from it, so we can showcase the new looting stuff as well. So let's see. We'll assign our pilot X-ray appropriately to the ultra heavy beam. Seems like generally pretty decent layout, so let's jump straight into battle. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, this is the new weapon. Can kind of pan around a bit more.
Ooh, look how heavy it looks.
Yeah, it's pretty mobile as well, even though it's in the ultra heavy weapon class. As you can see, you can move a bit more than with the standard ultra heavy. And let's see, what would be a good way? And it's a pretty long action, so as soon as you lock in onto the unit, it will take you quite a while to queue another action, and it requires quite a lot of heat, so you either need a unit who can withstand that amount of heat just by taking it as damage, or a unit like this one who can actually dissipate quite a bit of it. And as with other beam weapons, this weapon allows us to cut through structures and cut through multiple units at a time, and the longer we hit the same unit, the more damage we will deal. However, unlike other beam weapons and the other ultra heavy, this weapon doesn't have that much turning speed. That's another constraint of this new weapon, where it will actually, as we move quite quickly, the line of the beam will move along with our units, so we can, even though we can only select one unit to target, we can move our unit around to get the beam to fire at other units. Okay, so that's kind of the general overview of the weapon.
Is the ultra heavy beam weapon the current longest action in the game?
Yes, I think so. It's also the longest weapon in the game in general. It can fire pretty much across the entire map, like all the way. I think this is its range. So if you can find a straight line...
Oh my gosh.
to fire, you can pretty much fire on the other side, anything on the other side of the map.
Wow.
Okay,
Martin Waksberg from YouTube chat says, "Love the new demolition effects on houses. By the way, it's really satisfying to seeing the big explosions."
Yeah, very exciting, and we'll see them even more as I use the beam weapon. Okay, let's. I brought also a couple of other units with us, so we have like a long-range artillery unit. Then a sniper, like a more traditional sniper unit that have a melee support weapon, and Whiskey Jr. On
Whiskey Jr.
Same role as his father, with the assault rifles and the shields. Dashing straight into the front line to seek revenge. Okay. This looks good.
Let's see. This big beam. Big laser. I'm about firing my laser.
Oh.
Ooh.
Whiskey kinda getting clipped by the beam there.
I wonder why Nikita is letting his own pilots get hit.
Well, you know, training.
Okay, we got a few questions. So, firstly, got a really serious question from Pugus the 13th. Why find a lengthy corridor to fire down? Ultra heavy laser will just make its own firing lane.
Oh, well, we'll get to that. There are cities that can be renovated. But as you can see, it kind of goes through all 3 units. And it's not as damaging to start with, but gradually as we keep firing, it will definitely build up its damage over time. Yeah, Whiskey didn't take that much damage, just slightly clipped on the arm.
Well, if Adelaide were here, Adelaide would definitely be warning you about the dangers of putting your own pilots at risk.
True that. But as you can see...
yeah, go first.
Oh, I was just saying that you can see that we almost took out this tank. It's just a husk by this point.
One turn, basically.
Yeah, and then this tank is half done, and then all of these units kind of got a little bit of damaged as well. So, really good stuff.
Yeah. So Byron, they're asking, when will Phantom Brigade be available in any store other than the Epic Games Store? We are going to be launching on Steam, but that will happen when we're ready to go to Steam. And we don't have an exact date yet, but we will definitely let everyone know. We'll be very excited to let everyone know when we do. And we have a question from Black Bladder. Will you be adding missile travel indicators on the timeline for launchers? That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I don't think we have that planned yet, but that's something that we could potentially add in the future to improve the readability of the missile weapons.
Yeah, that's something that we know we want to try to do. Just in general readability of the missiles. Like already the new missile trajectory lines, I think those are a big improvement compared to before they were there. So working on making missiles more readable. And Diamond Magnet CJ asks, why does the beam flicker like that?
Do you mean the actual beam, the beam line? That's what they're referring to?
I assume so.
Energy reasons?
I think that might mean I've noticed that sometimes it looks like the beam like doesn't go all the way, or it's and it looks like it's kind of flickering. Is
Oh, I think I understand what you mean. It's usually when it starts cutting into structures. That's when, because it takes a little bit of time for it to melt through concrete and all the other stuff. So I can show it here as we like try to cut through this larger building here. I think we'll see a bit of that, and I can explain it in more detail.
Okay, good questions, but okay, let's see it then.
So do you mean that, where it's sort of like?
Maybe. I guess we'll see in chat, but yeah, I've noticed that. You can see it's from the building.
Yeah, that's usually like, as it cuts through buildings, it hits a building, and then cuts, and then goes all the way through, and then hits another block, tries to cut it, and beams all the way through. And then you can just slice buildings in half.
Wow, look at all these explosions and effects everywhere. And
Yeah.
Amhorse will travel. No, you did not miss much. Yeah, we just started, so it's all good. Thank you for being here.
Yep, first battle of the stream.
Yeah,
Okay,
we've just started our challenge to avenge Whiskey as Whiskey Jr.
Yes.
Although with Nikita at the helm, you never know how safe Whiskey Jr. will be.
Lived and died like the father. No. We'll keep him alive this time.
Martin from YouTube chat asks, will buildings cause more debris on the maps when destroyed? Okay, so we'll do that question first. So will buildings cause more debris on the maps when destroyed?
As in just in general, like more rubble? They already kind of leave a lot of the like small debris around them.
And will tall buildings cause bigger piles than small buildings?
It's a good question. I think at the moment when buildings collapse, they just leave the same rubble, kind of just around the general area. I think that's what we'll have for now, but you never know. We could upgrade that system as we work on our level editing tools and just improve the visuals of the game in general.
Yeah, so we do get some questions about buildings these somewhat often, or I mean not even that often. It usually happens during streams, but basically focusing on the aspects that are more core to gameplay first. Like we've been adding obviously a lot of weapons, and then we're gonna talk about the salvaging and loot economy, the campaign. So basically the things that you're gonna be directly interacting with, and then if there's still I guess if the resources allow for it, so then it would be really cool to make the environment more dynamic as well.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely want to focus at the moment on improving the overworld mechanics first. Like you mentioned, the salvage, just in general make the overworld feel a little bit more alive and more challenging. So you cannot just go perusing around the middle of the enemy territory. Definitely should be much more challenging to do that.
Yeah, some of the overworld stuff that's currently planned is also very exciting. How's your squad doing, Nikita?
Okay-ish. X-ray is fine with the ultra heavy. The missile mechs are doing well in the back. Whiskey's kinda losing his arm. I haven't been. I've been a bit too distracted with the ultra heavy, so I've not been using the shield all that well. Those are barrier arms, so they will get a little bit of their health back. I just hope that Lima will not lose her arm as due to the slight amount of overheat here. And then we'll try to camp those 2 units with the ultra heavy beam as they land. Okay, let's give this a try. Some missiles raining down on the enemies. The shield is doing some good work. You can start seeing the atmosphere also change as the combat goes on. Like the small ambers in the air and the dust clouds kind of piling or we start to move around the battlefield. Probably from all the explosions and beaming.
Yeah, so for people who have been playing, or you can see it now with the combat atmosphere, like Nikita mentioned, the embers in the air, the dust clouds. How do the viewers think it looks? And if you've been playing on experimental, how do you think it looks so far? I personally think it adds quite a bit. Now it feels more like things are going on in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely emphasizes puts a good emphasis and supports all the destruction that we have, and really gets the point across that we're leveling the areas and really starts to feel more like war. Okay, as you can see as well, that's one of the best case scenarios for the ultra heavy beam as well. Not just can cut through all the structures and kind of make its line of fire to the enemy, but also if you can line up enemies and they stand and you manage to keep firing at the same enemy for prolonged amounts of time, you can really deal a lot of damage, like in this case where we just fired at this unit, and because we fired at the right side of the unit, the arm and the leg starts to go out first, or the arm on that side. And same applies to this tank. It's a good example as well of the directional damage system that we have.
Okay, we have Martin says that it looks better. Was there a map health system before with something that changed the game looks when more of the buildings were destroyed? I don't think there was, right, Nikita?
Could you repeat that again?
So they're asking if there was some sort of system before that changed the visuals of the game as more things were destroyed.
I think there was in the original Phantom Brigade, like the one before the timeline mechanic was added, but not in this version. That's something that was added just this update. Aaron did amazing job, well, kind of getting the system working so quickly.
Yeah, really quickly. Also the fact that it's not like super intensive on the computer, since like now we've got more things to render.
Gotta save that space for all the explosions and the effects.
Okay, and Paladino asks about side weapons like a fly drone or grenades for all units. Yeah, I think those are ideas for new weapons and weapon classes, but for now, the focus is on the weapons we currently have, making sure that they work well, and then the things outside of more armory stuff, so overworld scenario, things like that. And Tom6 asks, is there any penalty for collateral civilian death and structure damage? Yes, this is something that often gets brought up too.
Not at the moment, but we definitely try to emphasize that. By this point, when combat begins, a lot of the civilians are evacuated from the area, so there's no people in the combat zones.
Yeah, so no civilians left in the combat zone.
But there's definitely like we have some events that emphasize when people, or like when Phantom Brigade tries to or deals a lot of damage to the area. And something that we do want to add is tracking of volume destruction for scenarios, so we can make cooler scenarios like protecting a specific location from being destroyed, or having an objective to level a specific location. Like, let's say if this was a observation tower or some intel center, you might want to destroy it and then run away. That could give you bonus supplies or bonus hope or influence in the area.
Yeah, so those are the kinds of things that are currently one of the focuses, adding ways to provide more variety in the gameplay instead of just like defeat the enemies, having more things being tracked in an individual scenario, so that yeah, we can have different kinds of objectives.
Yep, and we want to tie the... Oh, I missed the melee attack just by a second there. But yeah, we definitely want to track more kind of what's happening in between scenarios and or in combat stuff and in the overworld, and then tie the two together. And a couple of the scenarios that we're working, or scenarios and narrative events that are currently in the works for the next update, really have emphasized that quite a bit, so watch out for those. There should be out soon on the experimental branch.
Yeah, there's already work being done, or some work already done, on some of these scenario ideas to add different kinds of objectives. So yes, like Nikita said, watch for those on the experimental branch, and when they're there, then let us know how they work and if they are fun.
Yep, we're always listening to our community feedback and try to address it as quickly as we can. And over the last, pretty much all throughout the early access and even before that during the closed testing, community has been really supportive and provided a ton of really useful feedback that definitely help us make the game a lot better. Okay, let's assess the situation. So we took out one of the tanks and this unit is ejecting. This unit should be ejecting, but clearly no fear there. We'll fix that. And there's more reinforcements coming in, and I think they have... I think that's a... Oh, I can't select them yet. Or can I? Nope, cannot tell what. So it looks like they either have the minigun, the Vulcan, or their own ultra heavy beam weapon.
Ooh.
Double the beam weapon, double the fun. And we'll shoot them in the back, just to be sure.
Paladino says that they like using heavy mech with shield and shotgun, and with a shield, is there some, or is there, can there be a trample or a stampede rush to smash enemies using shields? So, yeah, another thing that we get asked quite often right now, the shield, the only shield action is to just like put up your shield defensively, but that does, when you put your shield defensively, you can still move, and it increases your stability of your mech, which often allows you to like put up your shield and bump into other mechs, which can, which is like pushes them back and knocks them over. So yes, I'd say yes, there kind of is. And as Banahan in YouTube chat also says, body slamming is perhaps the best feature in the game. Yes, it's very fun to put up your shields and run into someone else, and boop them, as I like to say.
Mm-hmm. Play mech and tank hockey. Something as well that let's see if come on. Ah, so close.
Oh, I just missed.
Maybe. Yeah. Nope. Yeah, it's a bit expected. Usually when you shoot at stuff that's running perpendicular to your line of fire, it will usually miss, but still. I was hoping maybe. Okay. So looks like, well, this enemy unit is done. Good stuff. Poor sad tank with no treads trying to shoot its beam weapon.
Dang, the tank with the beam, but it can't move. Diamond Magnet asks, does the damage buildup of energy weapons apply or reset per mech hit or per body part hit?
So it's per mech hit. So as soon as you start, and it works when you hit units with different beams as well. So it's not per specific beam weapon. Where you can see the projectile as well, like rotating and heating up midair. I need to stay focused, getting distracted by cool effects. But pretty much the way it works is that units have almost like beam tolerance in a sense, or beam resistance. And as they get hit by different beam weapons, that resistance goes down. And different beams start dealing, or they have minimum and maximum amount of damage that they can deal, or I should say just maximum, they start at 0. And then as they deal that, as the resistance goes down, each beam weapon starts to get closer to their maximum damage. So this way, for example, some beam weapons are really bad at reducing that resistance. So you might want to use other beam weapons to lower it down and then really hit home with the more powerful beams that do not lower the resistance but deal much more damage in general. That's one way to go about them. Okay, it looks like they have the old ultra heavy weapon, which is the minigun. Still quite fun, but not as destructive as the beam. I think we'll just sit behind the star, and then I shot a couple of missiles at this cluster of enemies. I'll just keep most of my units long range, so we can quite safely engage them at long distance.
That's not your normal strategy, Nikita.
Not taking safe routes, the usual way, but
that's not what the viewers want to see.
What do the viewers want to see?
Yes, that is a good question. What do the viewers want to see? What kind of strategies should Nikita use?
Do you want me to showcase some of the weapons, or kind of use the beam weapons a bit more? If I get another beam weapon, we can dual wield, or not dual wield ultra heavies, but have to max with ultra heavies. That would be pretty extreme. Okay.
Diamond Magnet asks, is there a way to tell which beams reduce resistance the best?
You can look at the stats of the weapons. We'll probably get some beam weapons from this unit here. We'll be able to salvage it, and I'll go over how new salvage works after this encounter, and I can explain. Remind me if I forget, I'll explain how the original beams work as well. Oh, that's nice. Managed to get both of those tanks in the line.
Man, look at all the, like, everywhere across the map looks so cool.
Yeah, it's like all the smoke from the tank rubble, all the destruction from the beams, the new atmosphere, missiles whizzing through the air. Backgrounds are now in as well. Game just keeps getting better and better.
Bahar says to be sure to fight at night to show off the eye flares.
Oh, true as well. And we have the floodlights as well.
Ooh.
Something that Artyom, I think, added this update as well.
Pugas ask, how many trees have you hand planted since last stream?
Not that many. We haven't touched the backgrounds since this update. It was mostly focused on doing a lot of the scenario work that I mentioned, where we're really experimenting with new scenarios and events and trying to figure out how to make the most of our tools to make really exciting and interesting stuff that ties together both overworld and combat at the same time.
I think he meant in real life, though. How many trees have you hand planted? Yeah.
Sadly, none. Should
Are you
plant
sure?
more.
We should get RTM on stream to talk about his plants.
Oh, for sure. Yep. Ooh, that got lucky. I didn't intend for that. One of the other good uses for the new Ultra Heavy Beam is to take out turrets. Because you can take multiples of them on the time. That's like manage to thread the needle across the map. And then because they're stationary, they will... Oh, did I forget about whiskey? I did. That's not good.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's happening to whiskey?
Okay, whiskey is going to dash away.
TR Kyle says, nice shot. Yes, that was a good shot.
Pretty lucky I didn't intend for it to go that way, but it's definitely helpful.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Paladino also asks about dual wielding handguns or other kinds of weapons. I think you can already, right?
Yeah, you can equip any secondary weapon could be equipped in the primary weapon slot, but you cannot use them at the same time, but you can definitely switch between them. And some builds work quite well that are focused on more kind of light and agile mech movement.
Dual swords, definitely not the most practical, but looks cool.
Depends what you're after. Because different swords have different properties, you might want different ones for different situations. Like axes are really good at concussing units, whilst plasma swords are really good at adding more heat to units. So if you have a thermal weapon squad, you might want, let's say, a primary plasma sword, but then also a sidearm axe that is much lighter than the primary axes. And that would allow you to sort of knock out any pilots that are kind of getting to that point where they're concussed, but not quite. Or knock them down so they don't cause too much problems to your pilots. So there's a lot of strategies that you can take. Okay, let's try.
Thank you very much, Kyle. They say they love the game and they're playing through each patch. Let's watch this. Ooh. Okay, remind me. What we should do is when you can plan and I can give you questions, but then when we execute a turn, then we will actually watch because it'll just look so cool.
Yeah, I kind of nuked this poor turret here, and we missed it. But the site where that happened looks cool.
Let's see. Oh yeah, it's Tom6 asks, what is the max zoom upwards on the Z-axis? Also, is there a top-down view?
So you can pivot your camera like this, and you kind of get that strategic top-down view if you're really after that, which can be helpful in densely kind of areas with large amounts of structures. And I would say this is the maximum amount you can go up, and then if you're looking from the side, that's the maximum up. You can zoom in as well pretty close to get those
very close, yeah,
cinematic shots.
Tom6 says perfect, thanks, looks great. Glad
to hear that you enjoyed it.
Okay. We also have a question here from. Oh yeah, before Mike said, "Whiskey, it's not a human shield." Come on, Nikita, you can't let whiskey suffer like this.
Yeah. Well, gotta build character. If Whiskey Jr. is going to go down the vengeance campaign route, need to get them strong.
Okay. Ras Majere asks, do the missiles only explode when hitting a target? Seems like when they hit the ground, nothing happens, so no splash damage.
It depends. Some missiles, so missile weapons have different ranges. So for example, with this weapon, it's a bit faint, but you can see where the missile is in range and out of range. If the missile is out of range, it is technically disabled at that moment, and whatever it hits, it will not detonate and it will deal 0 damage. So you always want to make sure that when you target something, it's within range. It's fine to slightly go out of range on the maximum, but you're risking your missile fizzling out at that distance, because it usually it just runs out of fuel and self-detonates midair. But generally you want to target stuff within the effective range. So that might be what you're running into, where your missile weapons are just out of range. But if you notice that it's in range and there's still no effects, please submit a bug report. It's probably maybe something wrong with the system that is responsible for that. So I'll look into
Diamond Magnet also says that they do have splash and they normally target the ground, which you can do by holding control instead of targeting an enemy unit. Let's see here. Whiskey hiding from cover. Ooh, lots of big explosions. So that minigun is doing some damage on the buildings.
Yeah, that's I think that's a somewhat of a consequence of. So with the new ultra heavy beam, we didn't feel like the explosion that is caused were big enough. So Artyom added a system where, depending on the amount of damage dealt to individual tiles, it will play a different explosion. So at some point, if it's a small amount of damage, it will play a small explosion. If it's large amounts of damage, it will cause, well, big explosion. But then as a consequence, when tiles fall, they get damaged quite a bit. They pretty much insta-kill themselves. So as a result, you get these moments where structures collapse and a ton of explosions play out, which looks really cool.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, more explosions.
Bahar said, I'd love to have a view where you can see the whole map from above.
Yeah, I can see them from in the editor, but yeah, that's the closest you can get to kind of viewing the entire map.
Oh yeah, and Pugas asks, is camera zoom hard-coded or is the YML file moddable?
I think you can mod it. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I'm pretty certain you should be able to, if not through editing the YAML files, you can definitely use what's called Harmony to just edit the code if you want to change anything about the game, really. It's very moddable.
Let's see.
But if you feel like
yeah, go.
Yeah, if people feel like they're missing some settings for mods and things like that, just jump in our Discord and kind of message us, say what kind of things you would like to try to mod, and we usually try to respond and help people where possible.
Yeah, Nikita and Artyom are very, very helpful.
Yeah, we usually keep a close eye on what people are posting, both in terms of feedback or questions when it comes to modding.
Okay, let's see what we got this time. Oh, there's the big beam. Hitting the ultra heavy weapon. Oh, through. Wow, knocking down both. Wow.
Yeah, this unit has been a pain to deal with because it's quite heavily armored. So Whiskey with his assault rifle was just shielding a bunch of shots and couldn't really hit back. And the barrier kept regenerating, so it was time to put an end to this. And then the sniper rifles.
Can't let them just sit there as being heavy weapons guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they tend to not deal a lot of damage up front, or like in one burst like a sniper rifle or these one-shot missiles do. But if you do let them sit around for a long time, the damage, like the small plinks of damage, start to accumulate. Oof, almost destroyed it. But that's good. It will be cheaper to salvage all of this cool new stuff. Oh, interesting. Did we destroy the store? Yep, it's destroyed. Is there anything else left alive? Let's see.
Is there? Oh, they're just all the last heavy weapons guy is ejecting.
Yeah, I think so. That was the last action. Yep. Great success.
There we go.
The base left in ruin. Amazing. Okay, it's time to look at the new looting screen. So this is completely new. Artem did an amazing job of upgrading all of the looting stuff. And the way it works is we have a budget now for the amount of stuff we can salvage. And salvage is instantaneous, so you no longer need to wait for salvage. And the cost / budget depends on the amount of units you killed. So you can see, for example, you get some from just getting the base, then all the mechs that we killed give us a little bit of that budget. Tanks, like hybrid tanks, turrets, so all of that contributes. Then we can also see all the units that we killed in combat. And if we lost any of our units, they would be included in this list as well. Another change as well, if we lose combat and if we lose one of our units, we'll get a chance to get them back, even in case of a defeat. So it's a bit easier to kind of get one piece of equipment that you really like from that mech if you lose them. We can also, another change that's been quite big is now the loot rarity distribution is much more balanced, where you no longer get entire mechs that are filled with uncommon or rare parts. We changed it so now more elite units get better parts, and you can kind of tell them apart even just in the customization screen. You can see that like this unit was probably a more kind of common chump unit, and then some of the tanks were probably a little bit more skilled. This unit probably was kind of rank 2, and then this was the leader unit. That caused us quite a bit of problems at the start. So now when it comes to salvaging, by default all parts are set to be skipped, and we have two options. We can either salvage them or dismantle them, or we can recover them. And it costs different amounts of this budget to salvage or to recover or dismantle. It also makes a big difference if the part was destroyed during combat, let's say if a mech exploded, or if you destroyed its arm or so, or legs, or if the part was intact. So for example, with this elite unit, the torso, that mech ejected, so the torso stayed intact, so it costs us 10 to recover it. But with something, if we, let's say, want this rare, uncommon, or rare bombard, it now costs 20. So it allows you to, unlike the previous system that where there was a high chance of parts with just not being salvageable at all, this time we give you an opportunity to salvage things, even if they were destroyed. So you don't lose that cool gun that you try to get or keep intact for the entire combat encounter. So let's see, we should have plenty of budget to definitely recover all the parts we want. Then let's see, I don't particularly need I really want this shotgun. This improved. I'll definitely want the targeting subsystems. Those are quite rare. Can be a bit of a pain to find, so we definitely want to get those. Then the MMG is quite good. I really like the Bane set, so I'll take the entire thing, plus the ultra heavy Vulcan. That one is quite good. And let's see. Actually, instead of the Vulcan, I'll get this Tsubasa set. Or just the arms. I really like those. Let's see. Is there anything that you see that might be quite useful for our conquests?
I am mainly looking at we got quite a bit of discussion here in chat about the loot screen. I was just letting you explain first, but yeah, we have people in Twitch chat. We have Hippie here, Crazy Hippie 69. Nice to see you. Bahar and Patchy definitely, and Alexa, they like the screen. I like the screen. Yeah, Hippie says that that it's very well done, so much better and organized. Pantera Anka says, "Oh, I very much like that." And Gromesh Hellscream from YouTube says, "Both games this dev are making have the most beautiful presentation in the UI."
Yeah, Artyom is really good.
Yeah, Artyom's done a really great job here. Like, there's just I think both games, this and Industries of Titan, they just have so much information that it's super tough to get the UI correct. Figuring out like what is reasonable to show without being overwhelming, but at the same time, like, still useful and easy to navigate around.
Yep, we show a lot of information here. Like, you can see a lot of the information about the actual unit, so you can tell which kind of unit it was. Then you can see how the cost is calculated, which is quite useful to sort of figuring out how the entire system works. And you can see the total kind of summary of all the parts that you skipped, recovered, dismantled, and the amount of supplies you get from dismantling the parts. And I really like the way Artyom did these sliders, where you can, it's quite intuitive, so you can just click on the ones that you want and kind of inspect the entire thing at a glance and see which part you're getting, and kind of try to like play around with them, see how you can maximize the parts that you want and the amount of supplies that you get, which will be crucial in the upcoming updates as well.
Nice. Yeah, Seth90 was just asking about the sliders, but you just explained it. Perfect timing. Yep. Nikita, just like the Phantom Brigade, can see 5 seconds into the future and answered the question already.
Yeah. Oh, another thing that I haven't highlighted, but if you, for example, know that you want, let's say one of your mechs is destroyed and you want all of their parts back, you can, the way you can select different units and see on them, you can press the same sliders on the unit bar, and that will select all of its parts to be either dismantled or recovered. Sort of a shortcut. Yeah, are there any other questions whilst we're on the screen, or I'll move to
Martin asks, why can't we see how much scrap we have? That's a good question.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. We'll take note of that and probably add in the next update, as we're reworking the workshop and all of those screens as well. We'll probably add it into more UI windows as people highlight which areas they want to see that kind of UI in. So definitely thank you for really good feedback.
Yeah. Yes. We that was something that when this loot screen became available on experimental build, some people pointed out, and we were like, oh wait, that's a good idea. We should do that. So yes, thank you community for letting us know. Letting us know what you want to see more of, because yeah, like you guys are the players, you're the ones who like the game is for, right? So what you want to see in the game, that's what we're going to try to do.
Yeah, and it's the same view here as with the customization. So when you hold control, you can see more information about the equipment, and it's a full breakdown of all the stats. You can, if you select the actual part, you can then inspect all the other components on it as well. Okay, let's move.
Nice.
Doesn't look like there is any other questions as far as I can see.
Yep, I think we're good.
Okay, let's move. Firm salvage. Recover supplies. Okay, and as you can see, it's instantaneous now. So we'll have all the new parts in our inventory. And we also, because it was based, we got some of the loot from it as well. Like this, some parts. I think that's actually the ones I salvaged. But I'll try attacking Convoy next, or let's see. Actually,
Try to make it nighttime too.
Yeah, we'll wait for nighttime. Let's do something like emergency cache nighttime raid.
Cool. Okay, while you got that set up, I'm gonna answer some questions. So we have an off-topic question from Diamond Magnet asking about emotes for the Twitch channel. So we used to have emotes on the Twitch channel, but right now we have switched to it's called like a business account that we do not. Basically, we can't accept money from on Twitch right now. So yeah, we can't have emotes, but it does allow us to have to stream on multiple platforms at the same time, and I think that is better. So we can communicate with the folks on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time. We would like emotes, and you can use them in our Discord, but yeah, we don't have Twitch emotes. And we have some questions from Mike as well as from Garantana on YouTube about the pilot updates. So Mike asks, any updates or any plans to insert more pilot picks into the game? And Garantana asks about pilot skills, equipment, support personnel, some various RPG mechanics could add a layer to the game. So right now, one of the things that's currently being worked on is not just new pilot pictures, but animated pilot models that will react while they're battling in a combat. As well as each of those pilots are going to have basically like different attributes that influence what kind of traits they have and what kind of like AI behavior they have for enemy pilots. Is that right, Nikita? I think.
Yep.
More or less.
Yep, pretty much. It's quite similar in the sense to like the combat feel, where the music dynamically changes. So you would see an actual 3D portrait for the pilot, and depending on their personality, that you'll see different animations. Pete's doing an amazing job working on that at the moment, and we get sneak previews from time to time in our office chat. Really excited to see that.
And I believe there's plans for, like, they have different personalities, which will be different animations, but also that those personalities will impact like certain traits that will affect gameplay. I think that is pretty sure that is the plan.
Yeah, I think with the personalities affecting gameplay, that's something that will come in after that. We want to focus kind of on the visual side of things first, and then get the overall done, and then focus on the pilots after that.
And Martin asked, will pilots have barks and animations? So yes, animations to what they're doing. Barks, that I would say there's a decent chance, but that won't be until later as well, since things like voice acting won't happen until like closer to Steam launch.
Yep. Yeah, that's for sure. But we are planning to do more comms messages. So depending on, and that's something that you'll see in the upcoming scenarios and narrative events, where depending on things that are happening in combat, you will see more comms messages kind of indicating the chatter between the mobile base and the pilots on the field, or the enemy pilots and their base, or the enemy just in between the enemy pilots. And that should add quite a lot of atmosphere and kind of context for what's happening and how different pilots feel about that. Let's say that's the first step to kind of getting all of that atmosphere and feel into the game, or one of the first things that you'll start seeing in the game.
And Mike and Diamond Magnet are saying that they would, if with pilot personalities and models, that they would really love to have some form of like customization for them. I'm not sure if that will happen, but that would be very cool.
Yep. Yeah, we'll need to see how things will go as we add those things. We tend to plan a bit forward, but not all the way to release. So depending how things develop, similar to how we did with the Arsenal updates, we might revisit things or consider if different things need more attention and go from there, based both on player feedback and kind of what we see as important to make the game as fun as possible for the release. Okay, I think I'll bring roughly... Oh, something almost forgot. Show the beam weapon stats.
Buga says that they want a Nikita voiced "It's fine" bark on pilot eject.
Maybe, we'll see.
And Ildiren says we're asking about if it's possible to have like a supersized mech, like the size of a build or like a skyscraper, because the mechs are already sizes of buildings.
Probably not when it comes to what we can do on as the development team, because we want to focus on kind of getting a more cohesive look, and the animation is already pretty complex. So it will be quite difficult to add something like that, but you can definitely do it with modding. So maybe one of the people in the modding community will add something along those lines.
Yeah, we know that making things bigger seems not too hard, but it is very difficult to make sure that everything doesn't break when everything is hooked up to each other.
And the system that we're using for creating mechs and tanks is incredibly flexible. It's all socket-based, and you can define individual parameters. So there's nothing stopping people, for example, from making like a giant base that sits in the middle of the map and spawns like a regular unit, and then have different sockets on the side that like have movable turrets or whatever. So sky's the limit when it comes to modding.
Yeah, Martin says the mechs are already really big. It's just that the camera is far away. This is something that that does come up decently often. And for full release, please put Brazilian Portuguese in the sub options. Yeah, we for Industries of Titan, we released with many languages. We'll need to see. We haven't decided on exactly what's going to happen for Phantom Brigade, but we definitely want to have as many people as possible who can play.
Yeah. So, night mission time.
Let's look at some of these visuals.
Yeah, so all mechs now have floodlights, so you can see them a bit better in the night, and it also gives a slightly better atmosphere. Then they also have these like glowing eyes that slightly blink when they fire. I think enemies have the same effect. And it's like red floodlights.
Now people can see.
I think this is the map where Whiskey died last time.
Uh-oh. Whiskey Junior is this is the true vengeance path right now.
Yep.
We can see everyone imagine the cutscene where Whiskey Junior is going to where he's visiting his father's grave.
We could probably make an event that's like that, just tracking relationships between pilots. Oof, that was a nasty missile volley.
It's fine, it's not Whiskey Junior.
Anyone but Whiskey. I think I'll just...
Bahar says, and it spawns a gravestone on the map. For your... Actually, that's an interesting idea, where the past pilots, if they're killed, then it spawns a thing on the map. Or like there's a marker on the map or something.
Taking notes.
Martin says the trees are 25 to 45 meters high. Yeah, like the scale is definitely something that does come up, that like people don't realize that these mechs are so big. We have a image on the Discord and on Twitter that shows some of the scales of different mech or of mechs and tanks and turrets, and they're huge compared to a person.
Yeah, I think I'll try liberating a city next, and that will definitely put it into perspective. Mechs are pretty huge.
Let me find... I think I actually didn't post all of the images we have with the scale, so I will do that tomorrow or this week. But yeah, we do have this one. This one shows that a mech is 25 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, even for comparison in this map, like this is a chassis from an Abrams tank, or future version of it. That's the size of the mech. So you can imagine how, like, if those are shipping containers, or like a miniature version of them, mechs are pretty big.
I guess that is one thing that makes it a little, like the fact that there's no people on the map because the people have all been evacuated. Yeah, because Martin does say the game needs more human-sized Griblies to get scale to work. One thing that will help though is there also is some work being done on more animations in the in your command in your crawler, so that should show a bit more of the scale.
I wonder if I can crash this enemy unit just by dashing at them with the heavy mech. Not sure if I'm heavy enough to do that.
Whenever I forget how big they are, I look for a car, says Alexa, and cars, emergency vehicles, etc. Or cows on farms. Oh, we can't have cows be destroyed by mechs though.
No, not PG.
I love dash, like the dash jetpacks coming up and down. I think that's one of my favorite things. I love that their boosters on the back look like little wings.
Yeah, that's a cool effect. I really like it as well.
And to be fair, System Chalk, not trees in different parts of the world are very different sized. Like Paladino says that here in Brazil we have trees who can reach easy 30 meters, and that's definitely not in a lot of parts of the world. Some parts of the world don't even have trees. Have you been to like Midwest US cities? They don't plant trees.
Yeah, these drones are giant as well in comparison to regular drones. They're the size of a car. We'll probably not fight these units. We should have enough time to just run away.
Running away? That's not the Nikita.
We could. It's more time consuming than it's worth. and we'll get better loot from the caches anyway.
Yeah,
So,
no, the running away is fine.
Yeah, caches also have been redone with the new loot distribution. So instead of getting, like, you might get a nicer range of equipment, and it will be a bit more varied than what you used to get before. Oof.
Wow, that's a railgun, right?
Mm-hmm. And you can see kind of, depending on on each map, the destruction works slightly differently, or the atmospheric effect. Even though on this map we haven't destroyed that much or that many structures, we still get the effect come up. So it sort of makes the scene look, or the night scene especially, makes it look a bit more atmospheric as well, even though there's not as many explosions and burning wreckage as on the base map.
Yeah, we have Josh Chapman joining on YouTube chat. Says, "Sorry, I am late. All praise Nikita." Nikita, what do you have to say to your subjects?
Sign up for Phantom Brigade recruitment. Sign up for the war. Need more pilots.
Nikita needs you.
Yeah, Nikita needs you. Phantom Brigade needs you.
That's the next meme I'm photoshopping.
Like, need me with the finger pointing.
Point. Yeah. Or if someone on Discord wants to Photoshop that right now.
So you can see with the salvage, it's integrated into the same screen where you can see both units that we destroyed at the start of combat. And then the other 2 units that deployed that they hadn't escaped, we also get a little bit less budget. But the parts that we found as a reward that were stored in the caches on that storage facility, we get them for free. So it's quite nice. And you can, again, inspect them here and dismantle them straight away if you don't need that stuff or it's already part that you have. Or you can salvage them. I think I'll... the curve repeater is pretty good, but I don't really need the arms. I think I'll dismantle everything else. Or... this launcher is actually pretty good. We're using a version of that. I'll save the LiDAR arm. Ooh, looks like we got an event where there was like a secret section for that cache, so we can try to either break in or use some options. What does chat want to do?
Hey, do you want to read what the mission text is, Nikita?
Yeah, so it's a locked up tight event. You arrive at the marked location. You send a pilot to scout the place out. No sign of anyone, he says when he gets back. The building is just ahead, but it's locked. Looked like it was wired up with some kind of alarm. How do you want to deal with it? Chat. Then we get an option to break the alarm. We kick the door down. There's no time to waste, but we might alarm or alert enemies in the near vicinity. And the alarm will be blaring for 3 hours. Or we can use the force, not the movie kind, just break in. And it will take some time, but it will stop the alarm from triggering. And then we can use the tools, which will not waste any time, but will take some supplies. And will be quite quick and risk-free. Or we can just leave. Okay.
So what does chat want to do? And while we wait for some decisions, okay, Puga says, are the units attracted by the alarm specialized or just regular troops? Good question.
I think right now there's a chance, a very small chance of spawning regular troops, like patrols, but in the future those would be like special troops. That will probably be quite difficult. There's more...
Yeah, I think Pugas wants to see the cooler enemies.
Yeah, I think wait for the next update. Will have quite a few new scenarios that utilize the new scenario tools that we have, and in combination with events there are some really exciting and challenging battles upcoming.
Yeah, so this becomes this also answers, I think, one thing Palladino is asking. For missions, they want to do some sort of escort mission, moving a team from A to B, and yeah. So once again, coming up very soon are more narrative events, more scenarios with different kinds of objectives. Martin also asks, why does break alarm take 3 hours and use force only 2?
The break alarm, it doesn't take 3 hours. It's more, we'll need to rephrase it. But the 3 hours is how long the alarm will be active, but the cache will be open straight away.
Okay.
So, whoever posts the first message suggesting the option, that's what we'll pick.
Okay. Yeah, which one do we want to do? And I'm going to go through some other comments we had. We had Mel saying that we could probably add smaller props, road signs, and outhouses. And Bahar says that they want outhouses on maps so bad. Palladino says use force by TNT.
Okay, use force it is then.
Okay.
Okay, and well,
Diamond Magnet says do the option.
Whilst we're
birthday.
breaking in, we can celebrate for a bit. Why not? Some of our pilots having a birthday party.
Wait, who is it? Is it Whiskey Jr.'s birthday?
Nope. Danielle Peterson.
Okay. Happy birthday to
From
you.
the party.
Happy birthday, Danielle.
Partying and breaking in. What a good present to have is to find new weapons at an abandoned cache.
Throw the party and use door punching as entertainment. That's a good idea.
Why door punching? Just put one of the mechs and let them vent their heat by just shooting at the cache. That's how we break in. Just use the...
Mike Pence has the best birthday party ever.
Use the ultra heavy beam to like cut the door in half.
Ooh. I don't know, door pinata from System Shock. That's a good idea.
Okay, let's see. Let's find the city to liberate.
What an amazing time to have a party. That's right, TR Kyle.
Perfect timing. Okay, let's see. So we're level 6. Let's try doing level 11. Should be okay. We'll try a town, so it shouldn't be that difficult.
This is a new that's a new meaning of birthday beats. Break the door and loot falls out, just like a pinata.
Yep. Base, outpost. No cities. Oh no, there's a city. Ooh. Ooh.
Desert. Wow, so many events.
Yeah, getting lucky with those. So as you get closer, you see that it's a pilot wearing the uniform of the enemy. He's still and quiet, but when he sees you and a pilot approaching, he begins to struggle against his ropes. "You've gotta help me," he cries. That uniform says, "We don't gotta." Your pilot says. He turns to you and says, "Could be an ambush, boss. Please, they tied me up. Let me dead. I've been here for 3 days." His clothes are filthy and there is an ugly bruise on his forehead. If it's an ambush, it's a more elaborate than you've ever seen. "Why did they leave you?" your pilot asks. The enemy pilot spits on the ground. "Didn't want to do this stuff anymore. This isn't right." "So deserter then?" your pilot asks. "That's what they call me. Will you help me or not?" So chat. Do we trust the pilot? Do we wait?
Just realized that I missed some perfect voice acting opportunities here.
Oh, we should have done. You read one line, I read the other.
Yeah.
Next time. It's a trap, people say. No, we don't know.
It's a trap.
Could be. They might have some useful intel. Never know.
No, I want to rescue him because I'm nice.
Okay, sorry, chat. We're rescuing the pilot. Commander overruled. You never know. We might make friends. They might join our crew. They might give us some useful intel about some hidden cache with cool loot. You don't know what that kind of stuff they might know. Democracy? With me? No.
Nikita needs you, not your thoughts. Not your opinions.
We value the feedback. I don't know.
Maybe they have a dog.
Yeah, maybe they know the location of where you can find the dog. Okay,
The dog
actually,
scenario is the most important. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so this is for reference, right? So this is like one of those advertisement billboard things that you can find, and like a small bench in comparison to a mech. So,
Wow. Yeah. Can you imagine sitting on that bench and looking at the advertisement, and then behind it is just that big mech? I can't. That's why I need to play Phantom Brigade.
Yeah, and these are like tiny cars.
Well, they're not. They're normal cars. It's just
yeah,
that these
true.
are big mechs.
True. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? So we
Oh,
have.
Bahar asked, what does the sign say?
Let's see.
Okay, what is this advertisement? Oh, it's like breakfast. What is
Food
it? Can you see what
market.
it says? Food market?
Forest Valley.
Oh, another
And-
food market.
Cannot see from here. That one. Take everything with you, I think. So like a moving service. Yeah, I think those are the only three.
Okay.
Okay.
Neat.
So there's an enemy with so there will be actually a pretty easy scenario. So it looks like this is the only squad that's here, but it's level 13 versus our level 6.
6. Oh my gosh.
So we'll need to
Okay,
be
well-
a bit careful, but if all goes well, we'll get some sweet loot. So let's see.
Can Nikita masterfully get his level 5 and 6 units to defeat this level 13 squad?
I sure can. Maybe. It's going to be fine.
Bahar says that they love to have breakfast at Food Market and get takeout breakfast from Food Mart while you evacuate to avoid the death mechs. Oh, Talthus, hello. So no, maybe, only do. So yeah, you got to do it now.
No, maybe only do. I feel like that's a new quote.
No,
be.
maybe, only do.
Okay,
That's on the second recruitment poster.
No, maybe. Phantom Brigade needs you. No, maybe only do. Right? It even rhymes.
Yeah.
Chat, you'll be part of the propaganda machine.
Oh man, if System Shock is still here, we need System Shock is a propaganda machine like master. He's so good at coming up with great propaganda machine quotes.
Okay, let's see. I'll need to shield at some point here. Okay, right here.
What is more dystopian, this or Industries of Titan? That's the real question.
Do you mean the stream specifically? Or just part of the game?
Okay, System Shock says they are here, but kind of busy. Well, let's see the big laser. So also that those circles are a little, or they are a more recent update.
No, there's been around for a bit. It's just the beams, the ultra heavy point, like shoots them at a regular tick rate, so it's a bit easier to notice them. But usually they're a bit more subtle.
Ah, I see.
Oh, we almost got the building. So close to slicing it in half.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh!
We did like a slice for this one.
Talk about a slice of life.
I wish we spawned in a different area. It's really satisfying to chop through these 3 buildings because they're quite thin. And then you can go like, and they fall like dominoes.
Wow.
Something for you to try, chat.
Yes, we'd like to see dominoes. TR Kyle asks, will there be tank or spider legs or different types of legs helping with the load of heavy weapons, for example? Yeah, so the models and the system, like for the mech parts, doesn't really allow for different, like very, very different parts. Everything is going to be basically like this humanoid kind of mech shape. But they, like, since you're an experienced player, you know that different parts have different like stats. So I'm sure there are some parts that will help with weight and such.
I really like these muzzle flares. So good. So pretty.
Yeah. Shooting from on top of buildings is just so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're kind of lucked out with these enemy mechs being so heavy and sort of clumped up in this area here. So I just hope that they stay here as I rain all of those missiles on them. And then I'll try to start with the beam weapon and go from this unit here. So we'll start at him, and as we start moving, the beam will sort of cross all of them. And my hope is that we'll eventually just stop on this unit here, and then next turn beam for them and this unit at the same time. We'll see how that will work out, but it's kind of the plan. And then Whiskey Jr. here running circles around them, distracting.
Whiskey Jr., the distraction.
Leading the charge.
Ooh, okay, there's the big beam underneath the building. And some of the missiles going up in the air. Whiskey Jr. flying around the circles.
Oh, you can see the beams cutting through the level.
Wow, yeah, you can see those explosions way on the other side of the map. Oh, okay, this building's gonna fall soon. It's coming down. Timber.
Slice. That will be a big explosion when it eventually lands.
Some shots on the right side. That's a big missile, right? The one that's flying up into the air.
That's a
Ooh.
big boom.
Oh. The house is falling down. Big boom.
I feel like...
Wow. Oh my gosh. There's explosions everywhere. Yeah, Mike Tan earlier said Michael Bay has been hired by BYG.
Oh, so many explosions.
Wow, that beam really hit a bunch of stuff.
Yep. Big boom. And then we're slowly pivoting and cutting buildings in the background.
My goodness.
Caches to ashes.
Yeah, caches to ashes right here. Wow, let me sit it. Yeah, unfortunately for citizens, all buildings are fireworks storage facilities.
It's
that's their strategy. When they evacuate, they just leave their fireworks there to help the Phantom Brigade.
You know, they can build a park now. It's flattening the area.
Actually, there was a question earlier about whether forest areas have like a forest fire effect, or if the dynamic environment effects are those only visual?
They're only visual. It would be quite intense if we actually simulated forest fires and things along those lines.
Maybe on forest, like you said that the dynamic atmosphere is different per different kind of level. So are there more embers, for example, on a forest fire one, or on a forest level?
I'm not sure in particular, but that's something that we could definitely like investigate, and if it's an option, we could tweak it. That would be that's a really neat idea. We're kind of really lucking out here with these units arranging themselves in a perfect line. And we have beam weapon just waiting.
Yeah, unfortunately, because they're level 13, even though you've done so much already, they're only like halfway. They've taken like half damage.
Yeah, previous turn we dealt what this is 500 or 1500 damage, then 1000, another 1000 damage. This one is okay. This one,
oh yeah, the leader is almost gone. Yeah.
Yeah, the leader is almost gone. And that's actually good because we want the parts from the leader, because those will be much more likely to be rare. So the more we can keep intact, the cheaper it will be to salvage them. And we won't get that much budget from this battle because there's only 3 units, or 4 of them. I think I already killed one. Oh no, it's just 3. And then the 2 guardians, we don't particularly care about them, but they are R1 instead of. So you can tell R2 are usually the good units that have rare equipment, and R1 units usually have uncommon, or at least 1 or 2 uncommon parts, and R0 units are usually all common, and maybe they occasionally, very rarely, get an uncommon part. So I think
for the
yep.
For the players in chat, like go back to your beam weapon, your ultra heavy beam weapon. Yeah, players in chat, do you normally have this much overheating and when you play? Half the bar every every turn. Also, Martin says that your beam might be hitting whiskey in the back, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Let's not do that. Yeah. Whiskey will run.
Hey,
for
Mr.
the beam.
Quinn. Mr. Quinn says they're showing up. Hello. It's okay that you are. Yeah, you're not late. Well, I guess a bit late, but that's okay. You're here, and that's what matters.
Okay, let's see this play out.
Okay, let's see this. Boom. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's building gone.
Can we zoom in? Wow. There's just so much fire. I can't even see the enemies. Wow.
The beam goes brrr.
My goodness. Wait, Whiskey Jr. is inactive. What happened to him?
Oh, got concussed.
Yo, Whiskey Jr. is almost gone.
Yikes. Whoops.
Yeah, poor Whiskey.
Slight oopsie. I want to show something probably not a good idea mid-battle.
Maybe you should give Whiskey Jr. the ultra heavy beam weapon. Then you can't get hit by the ultra heavy beam weapon.
I want to show something. I'll waste 1 turn doing it, but it will be worth it. We'll just casually cut through a building.
Oh, Pugus also says we should have a counter at the end that tracks, that tells you how much self-damage that you've done.
Separate stat, maybe, after combat.
Yeah.
So it's a bit easier to tally up.
Wow, though. That's pretty impressive. Just took down these level 13 units.
There's only 3 of them. So... And they are pretty dangerous. Like, they took a very heavy shield that Whiskey had almost in 2 actions. So as I was running around these buildings, they sort of been a bit distracted. I just hope as I'm running away, they do. Like, the scariest part is that concussion damage increases with the level difference. So that's why Whiskey was concussed so quickly, is if I get shot in the back, it's very likely that I will get concussed. So actually, okay, I'll show it maybe at the end of the stream. We'll go to liberate another town. I'll not risk it this time. I wanted to show like how cool it looks as the beam sort of slowly cuts through structures, because it doesn't happen instantly, sort of gradually like goes for each individual block, and it's really cool in slow motion. But I don't want to risk getting concussed.
Chat is discussing how many family members, how many Whiskey Juniors are there.
Many.
Uget says they are kept in barrels in the back of the mobile base. The longer the campaign goes, the better they are when they are released.
There is plenty of streams to go. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Okay, that's... Yeah.
I'm trying to, like, I moved away quickly so I could show the beam thing that I was talking about. But it's better when there is like a flat edge.
Oh, that's so good. Barrels of whiskey. Whiskey barrels. It's perfect. Yeah, hopefully not only whiskeys, but some Daniels.
Okay, let's see. I think... Okay, no, it's way too much overheating even for me.
Even for Nikita, too much overheating.
When the entire bar is overheating, that's yeah, that's a bit too much. Let's not do this. Okay, Whiskey should be safe, even though he's concussed.
Ooh, boy, that's
spicy.
Ooh, nice.
Eat
missile.
that!
Well, yeah, it took the right arm. Nice.
And blew up another firework factory.
Man, that's the primary industry of the primary export of this country. It's fireworks. Yeah.
Fireworks for days. Gotta fight in style.
This is an interesting suggestion from Martin. Martin, I think they liked the idea of a counter for how much self-damage. And they also said that something that could be cool is pilots get something like MVP, missed most, hit most, largest explosion, most damage, etc. So like some other stats or like ratings at the end.
Yeah, that sounds pretty neat.
Ooh, the laser from far away.
The beams goes burr. That mech is dashing. Oh, I think yeah, I think I destroyed its legs as it was about to dash, so it just like started dashing, and then the thrusters just face planted it into the ground. It's like just like a leverage, just like bam. Nice, very nice.
Martin, that's a very cool idea. Bahar, our QA, our main QA on Phantom Brigade right now, also says that's a good idea.
I think I have one turn to showcase the thing I wanted. I found a perfect line of buildings for that. And I'll just hope that the mech doesn't melt.
Where's Whiskey now?
Whiskey is just concussed in the back somewhere.
Okay. Rocket assisted faceplant, yep. Oh, you should be able to hack enemy mechs and trigger that. That's a fun idea too.
Just like,
Although I'm not sure if this, like the face plant. That's kind of fun.
okay, they're not doing anything. Okay, that's actually a safe moment to showcase that.
Okay, let's see it. Let's showcase.
I just hope they don't. Okay, they didn't die. Oh, didn't slow down, but
Oh, huh. I guess you missed?
no.
You're
It happened, but it happened
Oh,
very quickly.
wow.
It's like
Oh, wow.
maybe
That's
somebody,
a celebration.
yeah, maybe somebody clipped it. I'll need to find a better place to show that. As you can see, for example, this is yeah, one of the. I think this is whiskey. Yeah, so we can even though the mech got concussed, we can get the parts back.
Nice.
Never
For the concussed whiskey junior, he's not out though. He's just concussed.
Yeah, we'll get him back. Ooh. As you
Kidnapped.
pass, yeah, as you pass by a small village, one of the residents calls for your base to stop. When you come out to see what's happening, you find him nervous and harried.
Okay, I got it. They took our people. Please, you have to help.
After one of your pilots helps to calm them down, you find out that there were peaceful protests broken by troops. They bundled the protesters into the back of one of the trucks, and nobody has been able to track them.
That happened yesterday. I'm worried sick.
Your pilot turns to you. What do you think, boss? Reckon we can track them? Chat.
Can we track them? They can't have gone far in a single day, or no, time and resources are too precious for this.
Chat, are we
Martin
going to be good? Or are we going to be bad?
Well,
Okay.
Mike Tan was saying, suggesting that we are the baddies now. Like that the invaders were the bullies, but now we're the bullies.
So what's the consensus?
Martin says that we want to track them.
Okay, let's be good. Let's track them.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Nice to see what good our work is doing. It's easy to forget what we're fighting for.
Huh. I wonder if it's... Huh. Probably a slight bug where one of the events triggered beforehand. Oh, well.
There they are, hidden behind the shrub next to me.
Quest done. Easy mission.
Easy mission, yeah. I'm guessing they thanked you before they saw the state of the place. And Martin suggested that if in some of the text, instead of saying like your pilot, if it could say like the pilot names.
I think that's potentially something that we have already scheduled to do for the narrative events, though I'm not 100% sure.
Look at Whiskey Junior's tiredness.
Yep, being knocked out is no fun. No fun at all.
Okay, so we're gonna do one more.
Yeah, what chat wants to do? Anything in particular, chat? Want me to show some of the weapons? Do a more difficult fight or an easier one?
Wow, those 13s.
Sweet, sweet shiny loot. Level 13 convoy? We can do that. Let's see if we can find a level 13 convoy. I'll give it a try, but it's I cannot guarantee that they... Oh, well. Found the convoys. Not level 13, but level 12, but that will do.
Thanks for the stream. Need to get to bed now. It is almost midnight in Sweden.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here and the suggestions and for participating in chat.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Have you redecorated your mechs?
No, we'll go with level 6-5 units. We only have about 20 minutes, so don't want to spend too much time customizing.
That's fine. Nikita just defeated those level 13 units with only this team.
This might not be as easy of a fight.
Oh, a few more.
Yeah, I think I buffed convoys not too long ago.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Nikita really is on playing both sides here. Oh, Martin, you're Maltavius in Discord. Nice. Okay, now I know what you're how to recognize you in chat. Cool. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, Puget says scoop the loot and run.
We're not
hard. They're like
Yeah,
they're walking right over the loot.
Don't stomp on my loot. I need it.
Oh, good one, Mr. Quinn. You have beam up against worst odds.
Let's see how this will go. Okay. Seems... This seems relatively okay as a plan.
There's the big beam. Okay, that elevated tank. Oh, two beams are actually the elevated tank itself has a beam.
That was a big oof.
Oh wow! Wait, what? Who got hit? I did not notice. Oh no! That's an F for Mike.
Well, that's off to a good start.
Uh-oh. Wow, just got one. Is that like one turn?
Yep.
Oh, Adelaide said, Nikita, please.
They just ran right in front and then got cut by our beam and by enemy fire.
Oh,
just like from both sides.
Beam. Oh, that's why. That was pretty impressive.
New achievement unlocked.
I think he might be dead. That's a good one. Wow. Mr. Quinn. With these morbid puns.
Not like this. Was a good stream so far. Okay, let's do some quick shenanigans of grabbing loot and running away.
New achievement, don't cross the beams. Yeah, I feel like you're not even gonna be able to get the convoy. Or the stuff. Mike ran and died believing he was going to win. Should be lucky enough for the rest of the team.
Okay, the ultra heavy is too heavy, so we need to. The retreat zone is on the other side.
Seth said that was a special maneuver called the idiot sandwich. Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, we'll We'll do the maneuver called just run and hope.
Wow, they're really coming after you. But if they're coming so quickly, then maybe you might have a chance to pick up something on the other side.
Yeah, I'm just running to the retreat zone, and I hope to like snatch a bit of loot as I go. Actually, instead of hitting these units, I'll try to beam that one. And if we can defeat them, all of them will be on this side of the map. Then I'll just do a switcheroo.
How is your ultra heavy beam weapon gonna get back across the map though, or are you just giving them up, Matthias?
No, I'll start dashing them as soon as they will get this volley in, and then start dashing. Yeah, because we only have like 15 minutes left, so I'll try to finish this scenario quickly.
Okay.
Ouch.
Oh boy, that beam on your unit is really dangerous.
Sweaty.
Oh yeah, I don't think their X-ray is gonna make it.
Sweaty palms.
Knees weak.
Okay,
sweaty.
he's done.
Okay.
Oh, there's like a there's like a sneaky mech.
Underneath the highway overpass there.
Yeah, like shooting missiles at me.
Oh yeah, and they're shooting. Wow.
Underground mechs.
Wow. That's robots in disguise.
Okay, so we have 2 mechs left. Okay, Mike's out.
At least Mike is not dead.
Oh, they
Wait.
actually... Yikes. Okay.
Maybe...
No loot this time.
No loot. Okay, we're just leaving. Yep, Nikita likes to go out with a bang, unfortunately for his pilots.
Thankfully, we didn't deploy whiskey this time.
Wow. Nikita actually trying to protect whiskey.
Oh, I don't have a retreat action. Why don't have a retreat action?
Retreat possible in 3 turns.
No! We need it now. Not in 3 turns.
Can you kite them for 2 more turns? I think it's kind of possible. You just run around, hide behind stuff.
Can we do like a sneaky loot grab whilst we're at it? Do like...
Ooh, sure. Yeah, might as well go for it.
Dodge here, and then dodge back, and then run here, and then run back.
Okay, let's try the crisscross.
The crisscross maneuver.
Okay, that's not bad.
Kinda dodged it.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Grab it! Sweet.
Oh ho ho, look at that.
That tank
Those
is
are...
getting dangerously close, and they have an autocannon. We only have a handgun, shotgun thingy. So we'll hide behind this rock.
Sock Puppets ask, can you pre-fire beams? And if you can, do the NPCs respond if they can see it firing in front of them?
No, they will not. You can queue them into the next turn, but they will not react if they see it. They mostly focus on taking into account positions of units, both friendly and enemy.
And Puga says, I told you earlier, trust no one, and then you went and trusted me with the mission suggestions. And
oh, missed.
Oh, missed. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. But you're still avoiding the autocannon. That's not bad.
Retreat zone.
Yeah,
One
that
more
wasn't too
turn.
bad.
Well, they're closing in.
Wow.
The Sunset Bridge run.
You might maybe do another like zigzag to try to avoid. Oh, don't want to crash there.
I want to melee this tank.
Dang, even now, still trying to go out with a big bang. Lima.
This is bad.
Nope.
Okay, got one.
Okay, you got the second one.
Oh no!
Oh. Wait.
Oh, they
Oh, it
stumbled on.
crashed?
They stumbled on a tank because these are medium tanks, and this unit is light,
Oh.
or they're medium. So both, yeah, both the tank and my unit crashed.
Okay, well that might. You should be able to dash straight in and like after you're done
Okay,
and
so
retreat maybe.
this unit will retreat.
Like right after you're done being knocked down, if you can survive the hits and don't get knocked down again. Okay, let's see the slow motion.
That was bad.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Oh, nice. We made it.
We're out. Almost intact.
Wow. Okay, well, you got one set of loot, right?
Yeah, let's. Oh, we see so much good stuff.
Wow, lots
but
of blue stuff.
we
Wow,
don't
that's
have-
really good.
We don't have enough cost to get it.
Oh, huh. So now how much is just one of these like blue weapons?
20.
20? So you can
And-
get like.
So
Three.
this is what I was talking about. Those are our units. So this unit and this unit are the ones that
Oh,
I had. So you can, like, if let's say I really like the like that melee weapon that I had, I can then grab it, right, instead of grabbing
Yeah.
the new loot. So, and I really like that Tsubasa set. So I don't particularly care about the. Oh well. Yeah, the rest of the loot is kind of like eh. I mostly care about getting back the Tsubasa. I really like that armor set, so I'll get the upper and ignore one of the arms.
So this means that in general, the strategy of like stealing some loot and then running away is just not nearly as effective in your campaign as it used to be, right?
They're still effective. You can kind of rush in, but it's very strongly depends on luck, really. Like if you get a good ambush on the enemy with a favorable spawn, then it can be pretty easy. With like 1 or 2 very quick units, you sort of rush in, grab the loot, run out. But then if you get unlucky or one of them gets concussed or like their legs get destroyed, you're risking losing that entire unit. So if you want to do these kind of strategies, the best way to do them is to put some cheap armor and sort of eject the pilot. Or, oh, I forgot to grab the pilot. Okay, but yeah, I think we'll wrap it up on that note, and Whiskey Junior's adventures will continue on into the future. We'll continue them next stream. But
is there anything maybe in the overworld that we want to show or talk about, or in the workshop, perhaps for future plans?
Yeah, so for next update, we're planning to completely. I think right now we're working on upgrading this workshop, and we'll see how the progress goes on that. See if it will be ready to be updated for the next update, and then we're adding more narrative and events and scenarios to the world, and a bunch of other small improvements here and there.
Yeah, so before we head off, if you've got any final questions or things you'd like to say, just let us know. Yeah, we'll hang around for a few more minutes before we sign off. One thing that I just like looking at in general is I know this is from last update, but like iridescent liveries and the new, or I guess just the general customization. I think mechs have in small ways they look better than they did a few months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's for sure. The liveries look really cool. I really
Yeah,
like
this one's like iron.
yeah, a lot of the new weapons as well, like the energy weapons. Their models are really good as well.
Oh
All
yeah, yeah. We should take a look at some of these energy weapon models if you have.
I only have this new beam weapon model,
Mm.
but yeah, I
Yeah,
really
so I
like
think.
the
Oh
glowing
yeah,
part.
go.
Yeah, like the glowing part is really cool.
Mm. The pipeline normally is to like introduce some sort of mechanic with the new weapon, and then afterwards and it just uses kind of like base or not like some old models, and then later on we add the like visual model and sound effects.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and we sometimes mix and match. Like if we have assets already for the weapons, I'll try to match the stats to the visuals of the weapon, kind of go back and forth, iterating on those. And same applies to narrative events and scenarios. We sort of collaborate quite closely with writing and art to kind of tweak the design of the scenarios and the writing or the visuals of the weapon to make sure that the two match quite well.
Mm. Yeah, and actually, I myself and Pavel are working on a developer log uh, write up. So it'll be a little article about the visual design and how he designs weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So look forward to seeing that in maybe this week or next week. Mr. Quinn asks, "Is beaming your light weapons in the back a dev-approved strategy?"
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay,
Depending
next.
on what results you want.
True, true. Mike says, "What's the next planned updates for next month, or the next features for next month updates?"
So I think,
So,
yeah, go on.
yeah. You can go, Nikita.
I think the main plan is to see where the workshop is at as we develop it, and then include that in the update if we're happy with it by the end of the month. And then we're definitely adding new scenarios and narrative events. And I think there's a couple of other things that I'm missing. Let's see. I'll look at the roadmap. So, yeah, workshop enhancements, enhancement to the overworld gameplay. Oh, that's another thing where the overworld gameplay will be more difficult as well, as you'll start seeing more patrols and enemy reaction squads. So if you attack something, they will come and try to find you on the map instead of kind of the map being quite empty. So you'll see a lot of more stuff moving around and making it quite difficult to do what we did today, where you can sort of just dash into the enemy territory quite far and then stay unharmed. We're gradually going to be improving in that and making it progressively more and more difficult to do those sort of exploits.
Hmm. Yeah. So in general, the past few months, there's been a lot of arsenal updates, adding energy weapons, adding models for these new weapons, and these weapons they add a lot of different mechanics, or make use of existing mechanics like thermal weapons and heat generation and heat dissipation. Um, and so I think the team is pretty happy with the state of how combat is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Although like there's always going to be balancing and small changes, but for in general the combat and just like how a battle plays out, I think the team is pretty happy with that. So the next features are going to be more on the campaign, where it's going into things like salvaging and loot and workshop. So basically things outside of what you do during an actual combat encounter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's definitely the case. And we're still planning to add more equipment and kind of iterate on the content as we go and add new features to the campaign and other areas of the game.
Making it just like a lot more dynamic, like Nikita was saying, that you can't just run all the way to the other side with new events and scenarios, making it so that missions are not always the same, that you have different kinds of objectives. And as Pugas says, in general, the long-term game plan is counter all the crazy stuff Nikita gets away with on stream.
Yeah,
Okay.
looks like it. But yeah, well, we'll wrap it up. But thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content update and enjoyed the stream. And see you again after the next update. See you.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.